where the Rangers lost to the Tigers last night 2-1. However, they did win the series against the team with the best record in Major League Baseball, starting off the second half of the season. And we've got a lot to break down from that series. But what I want to start with this is, what does that series win mean to the club, and what does it mean to y'all?
Oh, to me, it means the world. Yeah, exactly, Kevin.
Wow.
You're like, hold on.
I was not prepared for
the
that.
way you ended the first half against the Astros, and now the way you've started against one of the better teams in baseball.
Sure.
Even though the Mets really stink, I know that y'all think highly of them. But the way that they've bookended the break makes me feel confident about their ability to hit again. I know yesterday was miserable because Scooble's very good at pitching baseballs.
Can we bring that up just really quick? In his starts against the Rangers, his 2 starts, he gave up 2 runs in 13.2 innings pitched. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Here's the note for you. He had no walks and 22 strikeouts against the Rangers.
The Rangers have been bad at hitting.
They have.
And
so
Sunday
good.
They were bad again.
True.
They were good the other 2 games.
Did you think Friday they were good?
Sure.
I know I'm being serious. I know they won the game, but that was not particularly their best offensive effort.
Winning the game's important, Kevin.
That is, I'm not disputing that.
I will say on Saturday, I left the house. I installed my Fubo app on my sister-in-law's TV.
Oh.
So that I could watch the Rangers game on Saturday.
Nice.
And then I left in one of the innings to go get like a Coke or something for Adrian. And when I came back, Adrian goes, "Who's this giant baseball hitter?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Oh, Rowdy?" And she was like, "The mascot for the Cowboys?" And I was like, No. And so I had to explain that he's new and why and all that. But she was like, "He's gigantic, and I've never seen him before." And I was like, "Yeah, this is a large man. And he can hit baseballs really hard and far. So hopefully he can continue to do that." But yeah, man, it gives me more confidence knowing the pitching staff is capable. Still knowing the pitching staff's capable. Sure. Nice work by Rocker on Saturday.
Oh, my God.
Just amazing
Tremendous
effort by him out there going. And isn't that kind of what we expected when we drafted him? We're like, this is the kind of pitcher we think he's going to be, where he goes out there and gives you that kind of an outing. Like, that's what I expected, at least. But yeah, man, this gives me a lot of confidence heading forward. And you know what? It should give the Rangers a lot of confidence. We win series for the rest of the year, we're probably going to be in the playoffs, guys. If we just continue to win series, go into every single one of these things saying, let's win today, and then we'll see how things go from there. But if we continue to win series, there's going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of fascinating numbers from the weekend, and I did like the joke that Jared threw out there as well. This is for Friday night's game. No CEOs were exposed by Chris Martin tonight. Just some Tigers hitters his scoreless outing. And that, in Chris Martin's last 10 appearances, had given him a .96 ERA, which is great.
Were you sad that Eovaldi wasn't pitching?
Yes, absolutely. Well, and then last night, unfortunately, it was Chris Martin who gave up a trio of hits, and that ended up being the difference. Like, who knows with their track record in extra innings games how that would have gone. But yes, unfortunately, he was out there. I believe it was in the 8th when they had just tied it, and then he gave up the run. Yeah, no, I was disappointed Eovaldi wasn't out there yesterday. So was ESPN. Like, they moved this to their primetime game because they're like, hold on.
Yeah.
Scooble against Eovaldi? I mean, you have
a matchup.
Yeah, you have what seems to be the unquestioned Cy Young Award winner, and then you have another pitcher in Eovaldi who's got like a 3/4 of a run better ERA than Scooble.
What are you trying to say there, Kevin?
Trying to say it's weird.
Less games, right?
It's a little weird.
Less games.
That is true, and he was still short of qualifying.
Does Eovaldi even pitch full seasons?
Yeah, okay, and missing this start doesn't help, but that's if you care about like winning the ERA crown. And I'm sure Nathan Eovaldi's like, I'd rather win another World Series.
Exactly, Kevin.
I concede
that.
What
do you want to go down as? You want to go down as the all-time like Cy Young champion that never won a World Series, or I won the most World Series with every team I showed up on?
See, this goes back to
the difference was me.
My gold medal theory that I know is much maligned. about how if I had like 7 gold medals and 2 silvers, I would want a bronze and I would make a trade. All right? And it's the same thing.
What are you trading, a gold?
No, I would probably I would see first if I could trade a silver for 2 bronzes. But if I do trade a gold, I want at least 3 bronzes and maybe a silver, or maybe 2 bronzes and a silver, because then it feels more complete. Because then I have 6 silvers, 6 golds, 3 silvers, and 2 bronzes. And see, this is why I would be a terrible competitor, because my OCD would be like, you could have 5 titles, or you could have 4 titles, a Cy Young and an MVP. And I would be like, oh, dude, you got to take the second one.
From the 979, that is disrespectful to Jacob Latt's performance this year. He was great yesterday. Let's give him, credit for and what he's done. There was a time I know somebody was texting into the station. They were like, "Are we done with the Jacob Latts experiment now?" And then after that, he went on a bit of a tear, and that's been nice to see from him since then.
And once again, and you go back to, I think it's the Baltimore game last month, the last time he got in like a real true start, that's twice now, 2 for 2. He kept you in games that you might have thought otherwise you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And it is intriguing, especially with Nathan Eovaldi. It looks like he's not going to go on the injured list, but we'll see how that goes. And then John Gray is eminently going to return. And then you've seen some flashes from Jacob Latts. In Latts and Gray, you do have a couple of pitchers who have shown, who might have the versatility to bounce back and forth, although that might be wishful thinking for John Gray more than anything. And you had mentioned Kumar Rocker, because there's interesting things that come out of all of these. Mm-hmm. By the way, for Skubal, only the 4th time ever a pitcher has had more than 20 strikeouts and no walks against the Rangers in a year.
Interesting.
And that's their last regular season meeting, so good job for him, I guess. But for Kumar Rocker, you brought it up.
Hate on Skubal there? Just
it's
slight at him?
No. It's hate on the other team won.
Gotcha.
Like, this is something that Stephen Jones talks a lot about, and he's like,
gotta give them credit.
Other team, they pay their players too, and you got to give them credit, and I will. But right now, I'm mad that my team lost. Like, how hard is that to understand?
So basically, Stephen gets over it faster than you're willing to.
He does.
Okay, because he's had time. He's like, you know what? I had time to already get through this. Yeah. Now I got to answer your questions.
Well, I think that's debatable. I think maybe he gets over it quicker for other reasons. All right, so Saturday. Never mind.
Nope.
This is a question for tomorrow.
We're heading out to Oxnard.
Okay, it's going to be a question for tomorrow. If you just had to ballpark it, though.
Oh, my gosh.
This is just your opinion.
Alec, he could have bailed on this at any point.
I could have, but I'm not going. It's too late.
Stubborn.
It's too late. Hey,
Let's
what did I
add
just
more
tell you?
seasoning to this.
I just told you I would trade a gold medal for multiple bronze medals. My brain works the way it works, and I haven't been able to change that. What percentage of the Cowboys fan base thinks that they care more about the Cowboys winning than the ownership group? Be honest. It's got to be like 75 or 80%, right?
I feel like I do.
See? That's me too.
All right, that's 50% right there.
Well, what is that based on? There's only 3 of us.
Sure, there's Peyton's back there somewhere.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you care if the Cowboys win more than the Cowboys care about winning? He said no, so that's 75% at the most.
Okay.
Alec?
I think I do.
See? 75. You were right, Kevin. Good numbers.
And so, yeah, and that's
Mr. Math.
And that's what I don't know if that counts.
That's his shirt. It says it on his little label. It says Mr. Math.
And see, the first text I saw
tag.
was, "Oh Lord, yes." And so, and that's the thing. I think most Cowboys fans think that they care more about winning than the ownership group. We'll pick that back up later. Or maybe never.
In the month of July,
mm-hmm.
and I know he had the 6-run game, but Rocker's opponent's batting average is 190.
Okay.
He's pitched 3 games. He's had 4 in every other month almost, but he's pitched 3 games in the month of July, and he's at 190 against opponents. That's fantastic.
If that number is ever
.050 in the last 7 days.
Holy moly. Well, okay. If that number is ever lower than 200, you got yourself something for sure. Now, what was fascinating about this game is, did you know that this was the Rangers' 8th chance to get back up to 500, and they lost the previous 7.
Oh.
Or of their 8, they lost the previous 7. But
do you think they think about that at all?
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know if they're like, hey, we're just trying to win.
Yeah.
Or if 500's important
For
to us.
sure.
I don't know.
That's another thing that I think they don't need to worry about. Like, I certainly understand that, but it's something that's fun for the fan base to hit. But you're now, and this feels like the perfect point for the Rangers to be at. They're 50-50. And like, if you think about that expression, that feels about right.
Yeah.
Like, are the Rangers going to buy or sell? 50-50.
Yeah.
Do you think they could go on a run?
Will they win today's game?
Yeah, 50-50. And like, that's kind of the way I feel. And if you look, I know Jim Bowden threw something out there, buyers or sellers or both. And I still think that's probably where the Rangers will end up. The Rangers are high up on that list at 50-50. And you're like, again, that feels about right. So I am super encouraged that the Rangers were able to win this series over the team that did have the best record in baseball. But it's always one little tiny step short of giving you all the confidence, right? Because if you look back on the series, and again, I want to make this very clear, you won the series. And as Corey said, that's what really matters. In those 3 games, you scored a total of 7 runs.
Okay.
And so, like, that part's not encouraging from an offensive standpoint. And you didn't get the sweep. Because if you would have got the sweep, like, there's no denying. Hey, we just continued the Tigers' funk going out of at the end of the first half. They had the best record. You swept them. But the Rangers are always a tiny bit short of giving you that all the way sign.
Yeah, and with the not getting the sweep, you're like, we couldn't beat the best pitcher. And we don't know if the matchup with Evaldi would have been 0-0 all the way until the 9th inning.
For sure.
We don't have that with us, but we do know that the Rangers' batting lineup wasn't able to score more against a very talented pitcher, and that's something that you gotta. I feel like we want to see it, but does it feel like this Rangers team? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong because you just pointed out a lot of really good numbers on the 50-50 lifestyle they like to live. Does it feel like they are building from the beginning of this season and they're getting better, and they're just not great yet, but they're kind of like somewhere in the middle. They're about 50-50.
See, I mean, obviously I'm going to default to that. I don't see how you can tell me that they have continually built up and gotten better throughout the entire season. Now, if you want to say,
are they limiting the losing streaks?
Yeah,
better.
They're doing it
right now.
Look,
that's where I feel is like we're not losing as many as often.
I think the pivot point that you can go back to is Saturday, June the 7th.
Okay.
So you had just lost the opener to Washington. You had been swept by Tampa Bay, and the last 2 of those games, I think, were 1-run games. You're 29-35. So since then, you are 21-15, and I get the desire to say straight away that this team is better, but look how quickly they climbed out of that hole. You finish up the series win over Baltimore, and you're at 40-41. So straight away, you went 12-6, and you almost climbed entirely out of that hole. And since then, they're 10-9. So I don't think you can just say, since they were 29-35, they're 21-15. That is true, but straight away 12-6. And since then, you're 10-9. So even when the offense has been playing significantly better, especially to close out the first half, you're all right.
All right, I want you to be Boach real quick.
Okay. I don't think
and I want you to think like Boach, not like Kevin.
Okay.
But also, I feel like I have a good answer here too. Boach, do you like being a front runner or an underdog?
Got to be underdog, right?
I don't know.
I
want to ask him that Wednesday because I feel like there's part of him that's like, hell yeah, I want to be a front runner.
You know what? That's a good point. Specifically with this team, I think, like, I understand the appeal of the underdog, and you can tell everybody, oh, nobody believes in you and all that.
Yes.
The appeal of this team specifically, I think, would be to be a front runner because then you would have less concerns about skipping DeGrom in the rotation. You would have less concerns about if Evaldi had the back tweak. And let's say he did have to go on the injured list. And he missed 2 or 3 starts. You're like, okay, that's okay. And we'll artificially decline his number of innings pitched. Same with DeGrom. But we don't have to worry about it. But instead, you're like, hey, I still have to balance out those things, but also I can't afford to lose.
Yeah, no, I'm very interested to see, and like you said, specifically this team this year. That's a good conversation for Boch on Wednesday.